The views and opinions expressed on the following program are those of the host and guests and do not necessarily reflect the policy or position of ONTV's management, staff, or board of directors.
It's time for another fabulous episode of
Talking Nude.
Uncensored, unedited, and unfiltered about everything.
Talking Nude.
Wouldn't it be great if everyone just took off their clothes and just had their kimonos and be
Talking Nude.
You never know what you'll be doing wearing your birthday suit at 64 degrees and we're global warming at its finest and we're
Talking Nude. What, Jason? Today Jason's off.
Today Jason's on one. And
He's talking nude.
Yes, we are. Yeah, balls hanging and swinging. Got vaginas flapping in the breeze.
Oh my goodness.
Balls slapping. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another fabulous, fantastic, spectacular episode of
Talking Nude,
where we talk about pretty much anything, uncensored, unfiltered, uncut, whenever we fucking want to talk about. Why? Because it's
Talking Nude.
I am one of your hosts, Jason, and this is my beautiful wife,
Mrs. Kathy.
Yes, she got it.
Oh my God. He's so weird.
So how was your weekend?
You know what? Busy. You know what? I was just telling my trainer, Lourdes, shout out to Be Limitless Fitness, Lourdes Osario.
Shout out to Lourdes.
I was telling her about my weekend doing a private tarot card reading event.
And how did that go?
It was really good, and I'm so happy I dressed appropriately. For some reason that night, I was like, I'm going to wear this sleeveless black dress. You know, and I got a little sweater if I get cold. You know, holy crap. I did a tarot card reading event at a yoga studio off of Grand Boulevard in Detroit. It's called Hot Bones. So shout out to Hot Bones.
Hot Bones.
Yoga studio. It's been around for about 2.5 years.
Hot Bones.
It's owned by a husband and wife. And the staff is very diverse. It's like a trendy neighborhood, which is off of Grand Boulevard. It's like, yeah. But anyways, this studio, you guys, was 80 degrees. 80 degrees. But think about 80 degrees inside, not 80 degrees outside. That's totally different. So it was a first for me. I was doing tarot readings in an 80-degree weathered studio. It was hot.
Yeah.
Hot. It was. And
how are the clients?
you know what? I absolutely love them. So many power couples. Holy crap. I got to talk about this experience, though, that I had. It was the very first time. Like, I was actually gasping at my chest because I was so proud of this dude. Okay, it was a couples reading. The girlfriend got her reading first. Her reading went really well. Her man got a reading next. In his 10-card spread, you guys, this man knows this girl is the one for him. He wants to ask this girl to marry him. He plans on it, but he wants everything set up first. I mean, the way this kid's mind worked was so analytical, like it was popping through the cards like no other, and I'm just reading it off. And I'd never seen like a person in their 30s want so much for themselves and the woman that they love too. Like, he wants to make sure there ain't no sign, no struggle of nowhere. In other words, the whole situation benefits him and her equally. Like, the way his mind is, he wants everything. He wants his T's crossed, his I's dotted. He's doing it the responsible way. Like, he's not asking a woman to marry him without this. Like, he's putting it all in order. And I'm just reading it off. I'm grasping at my chest because he's a young person. Like, I'm 42, you guys. This person had to be 31, 32. And I'm like so proud because I'm like, you're doing it. I'm telling the girlfriend, I didn't let the cat out the bag though, because in the reading, it did show that he was going to be asking to marry him. So I didn't want to spoil that because I even asked him before the reading started. I go, sir, it's telling me something that you want to do in the future, and I really don't want to spoil it. He's like, it's okay. But in the end, I left that last card out because I don't want to spoil somebody's like engagement. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Not trying to do that. But I was so proud of this young person. It's for me, it was the very first time you meet somebody who being responsible, and they're younger than you. So when you sometimes don't have hope of the younger generation, you'd be surprised. One can like surprise you. If I was that kid's mom, I would be so. I think that's how I looked at it. Like if I was that kid's mom, I would be so happy that my son's not gonna go grab a wife just to struggle, or he's not gonna go grab a wife just because he wants to fuck, or wants a maid, or wants a accountant, or whatever. You know, he's not doing it for these ulterior motive. He's setting it up so they're powerful together as a couple, as a whole. And he's so young to have this mindset. If I was his mom, I would be so proud. That's how it was for me. It was like a very proud mommy moment.
That's nice.
It really was. It was just like proud to be the next generation, the older person looking at a young person saying, thank God there's so much, like, damn it, good. There's a good young person. Shit.
Well, my weekend went pretty well. I had a couple days off, and I basically just chilled and cleaned up the man cave, listened to some music. Really didn't watch a lot of TV. I watched more TV yesterday the whole weekend than I watched like Friday and Saturday.
Jason cleaned the house, you guys. He is such a good house husband. I tell you, he's like both. He's like my worker bee and my house husband all in one. Because he cleans so fast. He gets to it before me. It makes it so sweet. Like Jason makes sure things are clean when I get home, especially if he's home first before I am. I tell you, like you guys, he's the best.
And I try, you know what I mean?
He's good at it though. Like because he cleans fast. Me, I'm like so slow.
She's a snail.
Like I really.
She's extremely
Jason
slow.
can clean up a whole house, top to bottom, dust and everything, and be done in an hour.
This morning we're having a conversation, and I'm trying to get out the door. I'm like, okay, babe, like keep talking as we're going out the door. And she's like, wait, like you're a Pisces and you're a fish and you go fast.
Yes, the fish swim fast, and I'm a crab.
Slow. Yeah.
Yes, have you ever seen a crab move, you guys? Crabs move very calculated and very slow. And Jason's like a fish, and you got to think of the sign of the fish, you guys. The fish, two fish going in different directions. Think about little fish, how fast they swim. So Jason moves like that. Jason moves so fucking fast.
Now, being that it's October, it's what, October 21st now, I think? Mm-hmm. Yep. So I watched Night of the Living Dead, the 60s version, George Romero, which is a fucking classic.
Boring.
It was such a great movie. He was like, they're coming to get you, Barbara. I love that movie.
Ooh, I have a question for you.
What?
You only get one.
What?
You only get one. I would say top 5, but nope, that gives you too many choices because I know you. But you only get one.
Not really. Top 5 is 5.
Nope.
What?
Just one.
What?
What is your ultimate favorite Halloween movie of all times?
Ultimate?
That you can watch 1,000,000 times over and you still feel the same love is all-time favorite. Friday
the 13th.
Really?
The first one. Because spoiler alert, Jason wasn't the killer. It was the mom. The mom was fucking batshit crazy because the camp counselors are too busy fucking on the docks and making out and shit and not watching her kid drown. And her kid had special needs. And he drowned in the water. And that was what the whole story and the premise was. He drowned in Camp Crystal Lake while the camp counselors were being irresponsible. And so the mother was literally killing fucking all the counselors. And you didn't know she was the killer to the end of the movie. So it was like a whodunit. And it was
like a vengeful thing.
Yes.
Like, you motherfuckers, you're going to get it. You fuck mine over, I'm fucking you over.
Yeah, you didn't watch my kids, so
an eye for an eye.
And she said it at the end, too. Mrs. Voorhees was like, what did she say? She said, I can't remember exactly what she said, but I know she said something in the sense of the camp counselors were supposed to be watching him, but instead they were making love and blah, blah, blah. You know what? Hold on a sec. I'll play a clip of it. I just don't want to get, I just don't want to get, I don't think we'll get sued because I'm only going to play like a small clip of it. And
you're getting it off the internet anyways. It's already been copywritten if you got it off the internet. Yep. Because you're playing it off of YouTube. So no, you're not going to get in trouble for that. You're only going to play like less than 30 seconds. So, yep. This is so live. Today we have a guest today.
We do.
And he's a quite interesting individual.
Jason.
Oh, he's got the clip on, you guys.
That's not it.
Oh, that's not it?
Don't you? There's so much shit on here.
Squirrel.
Here it is.
We told you this is so live. But you know what? That's a good thing.
There it
His
is.
name was Jason.
Right here.
Really,
The
honey?
year before those two others were killed, the counselors weren't paying any attention. They were making love while that young boy drowned. His name was Jason. I was working the day that it happened, preparing meals. Here, I was the cook. Jason should have been watched every minute. He wasn't a very good swimmer. We can go now, dear.
And see there, that I don't want to play anymore, but the thing is, the mom had a split personality. So basically, she snapped. And the bottom line is, the camp counselors were not watching out for Jason. He died. And tragically, the mom went nuts and killed all the counselors. So in the second movie, they decided to bring Jason back, or bring Jason as the killer, because he was avenging his mother's death. And that was the run-on thing forever, for like all the movies. And there's been like fucking what, 11, 12 movies? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Jason Goes to Hell. Then there's Freddy versus Jason. Then there's a reboot. Yeah, there's like 12 fucking Friday the 13th. And they're supposedly making another one. Oh, what would be your favorite scary movie? Enough about what I'm talking about. What would be your favorite scary movie of all time?
No, mine. No, you already know mine. You already know mine.
Hocus Pocus.
That's not a scary movie. That's more fun. It's comic, honey.
Okay,
That's
what would it be?
magical.
What would it be then?
Hostel.
Oh yeah, Hostel was fucking intense.
That is such a great movie.
And,
such a great
and
movie.
shout out to Saw.
I
There wouldn't
like-
have been
it
a
was just-
Hostel if it wasn't for Saw. Cause,
You know what? That's true.
'cause
I do like the Saw movies. I do
Saw
like them.
pretty much brought the gore back in movies. And
like that.
speaking of that, I watched a Terrifier, which I don't think you'll have a stomach to watch that. But it was about Art the Clown. Art the Clown is basically like this fucking silent clown who's like a mime. He's like murderous, and he's walking around with a bag of tools, like everything, hacksaws, fucking hammers with nails in it.
But I mean, I guess I had a quick crazy thought
What?
when you say that murderous, and I wouldn't have that. But do you know, like,
I mean, yeah, you
There's
like
a
Hostel,
lot
but
of-
this shit was really intense. Like he was splitting.
why do we
women-
think that's odd? Murderous. Somebody being murderous.
No, it was more than murders though. He was splitting bodies in half.
Yeah,
and
but
shit.
don't butchers do that all the time? Consistently. Weren't animals living creatures too? The things that we eat every day.
But we don't split them open with a hacksaw.
We don't know that. We don't know what they're
I
doing up
don't.
in them places.
I don't.
They got big old machines.
When we
tearing
eat them, they're a
animals up
hamburger
and killing
patty.
them.
By then, they're a patty. So we just get the patty and fry it. That's it. Like we don't do none of
But
the.
think about what's going on inside them plants.
Oh yeah,
You know what I mean?
Shout out the Faces of Death. They actually showed that. They showed the roosters and chickens running around. Next thing you
That's
know, they
right.
show people eating
It's-
Kentucky Fried Chicken at the
Right.
plate.
It's just funny how we we'll say something like really bad, but technically that's how we eat.
Yeah.
Serious. You hate to say it like that, but it's true. That's how our houses are built. We're tearing down people like animals' houses.
Well, they were eating
with
monkey
trees.
brains in like the Amazon forest back in the 70s.
Like
was
honestly, I think
crazy.
as human beings, we're
Rich
all
people
kinda,
were eating it. Oh, and they were eating the brains, which I found fascinating because I forgot this little tidbit of information. The reason why they were eating the monkey brains, not only they were considered a delicacy, but it was supposed to give you wisdom eating the brains of a monkey, which I don't see that really. But I mean, I guess that's what people were thinking and believing back then. But we have a guest this morning. And I didn't do a lot of research on him because I don't need to, because I know a little bit about him. But we're going to actually hear it from the guy's mouth himself. So I'm going to shut up and I'm going to bring our guest in. Hopefully he's ready. All right. We are live. It doesn't get any liver, y'all.
Not at all. But yeah, you guys like.
Here we go.
Hey, what's up, man? How you doing?
Good morning. Good morning. We have our guest this morning on Talking Nude Live. Give it up for Vj Strokenfold.
What's happening, everybody? What's going on?
Hey, how you been, man? What's new in your life?
Oh man, I've been just, being a VJ, man, just doing the thing, man, just DJing and VJing.
I was gonna ask that. Are you still DJing? I was gonna ask that.
Oh yeah, I took a little sabbatical for a minute here. I was just doing some other things, and then I get called back every so often. I got a gig coming up. It'll be by the time this goes out, it'll probably be over with. But it's on October 25th at the Token Lounge. I'll be playing with a group called Hollywood. They're a Marilyn Manson tribute band.
Oh, dope! That is cool.
Yeah, and there's going to be really good friends of mine. That's called True Devil. It's made up of James Trunco, Dana Force, and a few other people that will be also on the bill. And there's a couple other people I can't remember who they are, but they'll be there. And I'll be DJing that night. I'll be doing probably some MCing as usual, and actually we'll be videotaping that one. So
Nice.
So
How did you get into like media in the radio, in the internet, and how did that all come about? Walk us.
Well, I started at a very young age. I was in radio back in the 80s. I used to be a radio DJ.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, for you may have heard of it, 89.3 HFR.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, so I was a radio DJ for them for a couple of years. And then I ended up going to Columbia, Chicago, Columbia.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to film school there. And I started in, I started in film, but I just didn't really like it. So I was in video when I was going to school here in Detroit.
Okay.
Video work. And then I went down to Chicago, started filming, and I said, man, I don't really like this too much. And I got really heavily into computer graphics and nonlinear editing. So nonlinear editing is basically we went from tape into like all video editing. So
Nice.
yeah, so I started doing that. And then at the time, I was just doing, I worked in I'm like the godfather of like video editing of like the thing called the video toaster. I don't know if you've ever heard of that program before.
I have not.
No. That was way before TikTok and all the other stuff where you can edit videos. But it was the original. It was an Amiga. The computer was Amiga, and the program software was called it was called Toaster.
Ah.
Yeah. So I actually started to like just do these. I was bored, so I was just like doing these crazy videos and just remixing stuff and everything like that. And some of these cats that were DJing at the time, they saw some of the stuff I was doing, and they're like, "Wow, that's really cool, man. We could really use you as like, doing some visuals for our shows because we want to add some atmosphere to the shows because it's just DJs DJing, and." It was exciting in itself, but they're like, we'd really like somebody to do some visuals for the show. I said, all right, well, I'll see what I can put together, And so I started doing some of that in the 90s. So I used to work for some of the clubs down there, just putting the visuals together in Chicago, which bars aren't even there anymore. Like there was a bar called Karma.
Uh-huh.
And I did a couple of bigger events, courtesy of a friend of mine at the time was Brandy James. He did, they would do these big, underground rave parties and stuff like that back in the 90s when it was cool and stuff like that. So I was doing a lot of work just doing visuals for that before my persona, and then I was able to take that into the forefront once I was able to do remix videos and actually DJ at the same time as I was doing videos.
So where did you get the alias Vj Strokenfold? Where did that come from?
Oh, that came from my cat. That was my cat's face.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's my cat Frankenstein. That's his face.
That's so cool, man. So then you got involved. You started working on the Detroit Dungeon. Was that around like in 2000s or late 90s? Or?
About 2014.
Okay.
I actually started the company. It was called the After Hours Network. I did that, and that started in Chicago. And basically, what we did with that was we did a show called ATV, After Hours Television.
Yeah.
And it was actually we we would interview all the DJs and stuff coming in from all over the world into Chicago. So nobody at the time was doing this kind of a show, so we pretty much had access to everybody. So my crew at the time, we've interviewed some of the top-notch DJs, and if you follow the DJ scene, I always start with the more mainstream guys, which would be like the Crystal Method and the Chemical Brothers and stuff like that. But we've interviewed everybody from Carl Cox, Paul Van Dyke, Paul Oakenfold, Pete Tong, Sasha Digweed, and it
Nice.
just goes on and on and on of all the people that we've kind of talked to.
What was one of your wildest interviews you did?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Well, the wildest one, I don't know, it's so much wild. Everybody's been pretty calm. On the TV show when we did that with Kelly Jean, it got a little crazy.
Yeah.
So that was always interesting. I think the wildest night we had was with God, what was her name? Jenna. It was Jenna. We had a show. It was Jenna, and it was like Lady Payne was on the show, and God, what was her name? I can't think of what her rock and roll name was. But she's half man, half woman. She's got tits and an ass.
Oh, wow.
Everything else below. She's got a. I don't know how you're allowed to say things on your show.
Oh, for sure. Uncensored, uncut, unedited. It's called Talking Nude.
Yeah, she's definitely uncut.
We're in our birthday suits right now, VJ.
No, we're not.
We sure are.
Well, no, we're not. Not this morning.
Well,
Not this
he
morning.
didn't know that.
Not this morning, anyways.
So that was interesting because Kelly was drunk, and that ended up just this crazy. That was one of the craziest shows. I'll have to find that video. I'll have to put it out there again. I believe, if I'm correct, O'Brien was on the show. He showed up. Josh O'Brien, he's a comedian.
Yeah, I remember Josh. I actually did some work with him. Origix plugged me in with him. I've known him for a while. He actually hosted a gig we threw back in the day.
Yeah. So I think he was on the show that night. Jenna was on the show, and Lady Payne, and it was just crazy.
I remember the night that photographer came out and had like the backdrop, and it was like St. Patrick's Day or something. They had the two models out there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was funny. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So, what are your top, without thinking about it, who would be your top 5 bands of all time?
My top 5 bands of all time.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, that's interesting. I have like a lot of different like artists that I like. Like I like just growing up, I was a very big Pink Floyd fan.
Oh, without a doubt,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah, I was a huge Pink Floyd fan. I guess the people that got me into electronica music was two different bands, Kraftwerk, and also a group called Tangerine Dream.
Okay.
So I grew up just listening to like different kinds of music when I was a kid. It was really funny because I had an interview one time with this guy. His name is Louis Osborne, and we were talking, and his father is Ozzy.
Oh, wow.
Well,
Yeah, it's Ozzy's kid from his first marriage is Louis, and he wasn't on the show or anything like that. He doesn't participate in too much anything. And I'll tell you a funny story behind that after this. But it was weird because I always liked just different styles of music. Okay, like I grew up on I guess it was like a punk rock era when I was a kid. So I liked that. And I guess I was fortunate enough to move into different like electronica music through alternative music, I guess.
Okay.
So I ended up liking that. One of the bands I liked the most, just growing up, which they just got inducted into the Hall of Fame, was the MC5.
Really?
Yeah, and they were from my hometown, Lincoln Park, Michigan.
Yeah.
wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
But I was, it was interesting because I grew up listening to them, not knowing at the time that my school teacher was actually the guy that was hosting the parties at the Grandy Ballroom. His name was Russ Gibb. So that in itself is an interesting story. A lot of people know about the MC5, the Grandy Ballroom. Everybody played at the Grandy Ballroom. Led Zeppelin, Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin.
Really?
Yeah, the list goes on and on. And we just knew Russ Gibb as our teacher. Like, he was the guy who was a mass communications teacher, video teacher. So that's how I really got involved with video when I was a kid, because at the time, I wasn't on the show itself, but I was around all the people that were on it. There was a TV show in Dearborn called Back Porch Video, and that was basically, it was almost like a competitor to MTV at the time.
Uh-huh.
And they would play like just all different alternative style videos that you wouldn't see on MTV, which was really cool, like the Art of Noise. I think like the Talking Heads, stuff like that normally wouldn't be played on MTV. I mean, MTV was playing the Talking Heads, but they would play like music you wouldn't hear on MTV.
Right. They would play like the
Right.
commercial hits of the Talking
Yeah.
Heads. They wouldn't play like the underground hits.
Right. So that got me involved with like more like underground music, so to speak.
Okay.
So I've always been the guy that's always been involved with underground music. Like when I did my TV show in Chicago, we would have like an international DJ on our show. Like we had Boy George on our show.
Are you
Okay?
serious?
Wow.
And we would have a local guy on our show too. So we'd have a local guy on the show. We'd have some local stuff, and then we'd have an international DJ, such as like a Boy George or a P Tong, or you know.
So how was was this like when Boy George was still with Culture Club, or was this like later on?
He was a DJ. He'd stopped the Culture Club through the '90s for a minute there, and he just was DJing. Which brought me around to what I was saying about Louis Osborne.
Uh-huh.
Me and Louis got into a conversation one day, and I'm like, your old man, he, obviously rock and roll and everything like that. I'm just like, what did you end up, listening to? Because, I listened to the old man's music, but I really wasn't into it. He goes, I never really gripped any music until I got into electronic music. And then once I got into electronic music, that was something that I really enjoyed. And that was like me. I was like, I always liked bands. I always had favorite bands. I've seen hundreds of concerts and shows and everything like that. A lot of times just filming them and stuff like that. But until I got into the electronic music scene, I really wasn't too much like, I love music because I'm a DJ.
Right.
Really never was so much involved in music until electronic music come along. Because like I do like alternative, like there's a band called Thievery Corporation. I follow like stuff like that,
I really enjoy electronic as well. I've been really diving deep with Gary Newman. We went to St. Andrews. I forget what year it was. I want to say it was like 2017 maybe. And we got a media pass, went down there, and it was my first time ever being in the press pit there. And Gary Newman puts on a fucking phenomenal show.
That was a great concert.
And it was packed from the pit all the way to the back of there were people standing near the door. That's how many people were there. And that's when he came out with the My Name Is Ruin. Was it Savage? I think that Broken or Savage. It was something like that was the name of the album. And it got me to dive deep into his catalog. There wouldn't have been a lot of like Nine Inch Nails or Marilyn Manson. Because he was like the pioneer of that. So
I'll tell you an interesting thing was like I follow the group called the Ministry.
Yeah, so I remember. Ministry. Yeah,
I was around the whole like area of Wax Tracks. In fact, the guys Pigface lived downstairs from me. And when I was in Chicago, they lived in the loft downstairs from me.
Oh wow.
Pigface, and they was all together. Trent and all them guys were just bouncing around the building together. It was a whole bunch of them. And then I fell into Thrill Kill Cult. And that's where it was weird because I was doing visuals like Thrill Kill Cult, but I was doing it for the DJs. And me and Groovy Man actually got into a conversation about that because he does a lot of his own visuals, who's the lead singer of Thrill Kill Cult. And I was just like, I really loved your visuals when I went and did the show. He's like, yeah, but I was just curious who did it. He's like, I do them all. I'm like, get out of here. I'm like, you should be a VJ. So we got into a conversation about that one day. And like I said, at the time you had the Thrill Kill Cult, which was basically lots of guys were bouncing around into Pigface. And then you had the Ministry, which was Al, which was interesting because when Al came out, they did the Every Day is Halloween, which was kind of a bumping track for the clubs. So we were playing that a lot in the clubs. But it was like he was like more like a Depeche Mode kind of guy in the beginning, and then they did like a 360, and he just started burning all those records and wouldn't play those tunes anymore. And I think Mine Was a Terrible Thing to Taste was the album that really set it apart. And that, once again, that's another one of my favorite, top so-called 5 bands, but totally different genre of music, industrial kind of music, and stuff like that. So,
What was great about that music?
When you ask a DJ, it's really hard to say like, a top 5.
Oh, for sure.
There's many different genres of music for me where I could say, okay, there's top 5 in this, in industrial, there's top 5 in punk, there's top 5 in rock and roll,
Right.
there's top 5 in electronica. So I always say, when people ask me, I'm like, I just like music in general. So.
Oh, same. What's really great about electronic and industrial is I love the sound. Like when you listen to, for example, if you listen to like Nirvana, right? If you listen to their album Bleach, right? You listen to that album, so garage, it's got like that real just underground feel versus like when you listen to Nevermind, it's more polished, right? But if you listen to the Spawn movie soundtrack, amazing how they meshed hip hop and metal together. You had like Korn, you had Crystal Method on there, you had everyone on there. This Atari Teenage Riot, I think, was on there, if I'm not mistaken. Like it was just a great mesh. And that's what's cool. The mainstream doesn't get the same kind of like the same vibe, because underground has always been, to me, has always been the bubbling surface. Like whether it's hip hop, whether it's rock and roll.
Yeah, exactly. That's like in hip hop. Like, I listen to hip hop or rock or rap, whatever the hell you want to call it nowadays.
Yeah.
I really don't listen to it on the radio because it's not very good.
No, it's horrible. Let's be honest. It's fucking terrible, bro. Like, but you know what I realized too, VJ? Not to cut you off, and I'll just keep it real quick. Is I used to be on a level where I was like, oh, I fucking hate that shit. It's garbage. But now I'm like, you know what? And Kathy even got me to see it in a different light. It's just not for me. It's not for my generation.
Yeah.
I'm cool with the shit that I like. And if the younger generation like it, so be it. But it's not really my thing.
Yeah. There's dozens and dozens of guys in around here, including yourself, that are actually putting stuff together that is actually very good, but it just never will be seen because it's just so stereotyped in radio. And that's in anything. That's why I gravitated very young towards underground and different styles of music because of how I grew up. On the television, there was different music videos. When I was on college radio, there was different styles of music and stuff like that. We were playing at the time, I guess it was different because they really didn't play a lot of it on the radio.
Right.
It was rock and roll. It was Jane's Addiction. They weren't playing The Cure on the radio. They never really have. I like guys that are, like I said, I was always a real local guy. Even in Chicago, I always had local DJs on my show with international guys. Even when I was here in Detroit, I'd have local guys on with international guys. I've always kind of kept that vibe where it's like, always take care of the local talent because, that's what it's all about,
For sure.
You got the international guys, and that's cool. They've already got their fame and everything like that. But it's like you really want to start bringing up the local guys because there's so many talented local guys that really aren't going to get a voice anywhere, and so that's really what it's all about. It's like, and that's what radio should be about. The internet's cool because it leaves you a little more of a window
Right.
to do stuff, but it's also too, it's it's like, I think it's really kind of gone the way of like commercial, at the same time.
It is. We were going to Marcus got married, KPZ, and he invited us to the wedding. We went to the wedding. And shout out to Megan and Marcus. And we went on our way there. We were listening to iHeart, and they were playing Pink Floyd, "Dark Side of the Moon." They were playing "Breathe." And you know how they had the interlude right before it goes into the next song, like in the middle of "Breathe." They cut it. They fucking cut it. And I was like, "What?" Like, because like you said, it's on to the next track. The attention span of people is so short now. It's like, you just only get to hear like a couple minutes, 2-3 minutes, and then it's like, oh, next track. Yeah. There's no Stairway to Heaven type songs anymore. Bohemian Rhapsody. What was great about music, and I'm sure you can agree with this, is you could listen to an album back in the day, and like, for example, Guns N' Roses, right? Estranged. November Rain. There's not songs like that anymore. you know, where they're like 7-8 minute long epic songs.
Oh yeah, they've already done away with that. Yeah, they've already talked about that. Like,
Yeah.
I've, just from studying like radio and what they do,
Yep.
they're just no, we can't do that, man. There's just a window between commercials and song,
And it's
they'll
horrible. It's
yeah,
horrible
they'll
they
go to
do
artists.
that.
Yeah, they'll tell artists are like, we can't have you play this long song like this anymore, and they've made the condition the artists to play songs between like 3 to 4 minutes because of the radio airplay.
Well, that's
You know?
like System of a Down. I'm a huge System of a Down fan. Kathy is as well. We were talking about this briefly with you the other day. We went to DTE. They were only playing 2 states. They were playing California. They were playing Michigan. And as soon as I saw the tickets go on sale, I was like, "We're going to this concert. We are fucking going." And we went. And Kathy, what was the experience? What did you think about that System of a Down concert? You're over there
Crowded.
all quiet.
Crowded, but it was dope, you guys. It was so wall to wall people.
Okay.
They sounded really, really good. And to me, that's probably one of the most memorable concerts we've been to.
I really wish, honestly, that they would work out their differences and drop another album. Because from what Serge keeps saying, he's physically not able to do it because of his back issues and whatnot. Right. But also him and it's Darren, right? I'm pretty sure it's Darren.
Mm-hmm.
They can't agree on the songwriting credits. So
Right.
that's a lot of it too. But they actually had new material for an album, and Serge ended up taking a lot of the songs and putting it on his solo record.
Mm-hmm.
But I would love to hear another System album, because especially in today's climate with everything going on in the world, you know they would come out with some really hard hitting shit.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
that's true.
Like I said, the only bands that really sung against the government was the MC5, honestly, back in the day.
Yeah.
If you look at any MC5 track, but it was like they were all about the music and what the music was about. I mean,
Yeah.
and they had the leader or the manager of their band was the leader of the White Panther Party, which was John Sinclair.
Oh wow.
They all passed away before they were inducted in the Hall of Fame, but it's like it was almost like a spike to the Hall of Fame, because it's like they really weren't about the Hall of Fame. They wouldn't really. I don't think they were. They're not really into it, because they were like the band that was just there at the time, internationally known, internationally known, very not like say compensation of money wise,
Right.
which not about. To the fact of like of their international fame, and it's just like it's interesting because like I guess they had some big ceremony the other day, but it was cool. I sadly was not able to go to it. They had a local one in Lincoln Park.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, which would have been cool. It was just like last weekend, so
Oh,
that would have been
wow.
cool. I was there when they dedicated the keys to the city to a couple of the members who were there.
Okay.
I was very fortunate to be around. There's still people around during that era that are really, get to know them. One is Lenny Sinclair. She's a photographer during the time.
Uh-huh.
She's doing a bunch of art exhibits. I think there's one going on right now. You just have to look it up. Just look up Lenny Sinclair.
Okay.
And some of the artwork or photography that she's done.
Uh-huh.
Carl Lundgren, who's worked on doing some of the posters at the time. He's basically a protege of Gary Grimshaw. They're all kind of in that era of like the 60s and 70s so-called artwork out of San Francisco. And then Carl's going on, just like I said, he started his own thing where he was actually designing stuff for various sci-fi shows and stuff like that, sci-fi, artwork and stuff like that. So very, very talented people, all the way around when it comes to that era, which was quite interesting because at the time the MC5 were so they were like the feds were after them,
Yeah.
Yeah, John Sinclair ended up getting arrested. They started their own newspaper, which was against the government.
Really?
Yeah, they started their own.
Government didn't like that.
Oh yeah, they didn't like that at all. They didn't like that at all. So that basically really got them into like a lot of hot water during the time. John was a real volatile person with the White Panther Party.
Wow.
Yeah, he was the guy who, like I said, at the time, he got caught in Ann Arbor selling 2 joints, and he ended up going to jail, and they gave him 10 years.
For 2 joints?
For 2 joints. Yeah, that's the reason why there's hash bash, is because of,
Wow.
and this was the time when artists
Wow.
actually stood up for people, and they had a huge concert for John. Bob Seger, Abbie Hoffman was there. John Lennon actually did a song about John Sinclair. If you ever get a chance, just Google up John Lennon's song "John Sinclair,"
Okay.
and that was when people actually championed for other people that were being unlawfully persecuted, and it was just way beyond what really needed to be done. And when they freed John, they ended up having, which was the original hash bash, which was on April 1st. It used to be on April 1st every year. Now they bounced it a little bit. But yeah, so that was basically the story behind that. And
Wow.
well, I've always kind of even followed that type of movement, because I've always been involved with unlawful persecutions of people, and just people I'll tell you an interesting story about the Sinclairs. They actually, this is a lot of people don't know this story, but the reason why Richard Nixon actually stepped down was not because of Watergate. It was most likely because of the Sinclairs, because they unlawfully tapped their phones, and they had blamed them for some stuff that was just wrong, and they found out about it, right?
Uh-huh.
And they went to the Supreme Court, and they actually won in the Supreme Court. And I guess one of the reasons they won, because one of the guys that helped it get through was actually our original Black Panther, was a judge.
Wow.
So when they got that, it was really hush hush, because the FBI had unlawfully, which they do now, and that's the other thing I do a lot of now, is on the side, is I actually do a lot of stuff like that, where it's people that have been unlawfully, their lines have been tapped, because they're not allowed to do that, and they've been doing this for a very long time. And that case was it was quite a pivotal case at the time, and they kept it real hush hush. And I think what they thought is oh, well, if they find out that Richard Nixon was behind this, and the FBI, that, this could cause a lot of turmoil. And I guess part of that was one of the reasons. I'll have to really reconfirm that, so don't quote me on it.
Right.
And I have to sit down with Lenny Sinclair. But yeah, they did have that. They made up the scandal of the whole Whitewater thing. Or I'm sorry, what was it? Watergate.
Yeah.
Water is the Clintons. They're another fun bunch. But yeah, Watergate. And he ended up having to step down. But I think the real reason was because they were unlawfully tapping. And they found out about it, and they ended up going to the Supreme Court, and they actually won their case, which nowadays you probably wouldn't be able to do that, because nowadays they've put so many things on the people. I follow a lot of this stuff too. It's one of my new jobs, is actually just what the government is doing to the people, which is the government administration to we the people, is through the Patriot Act and other certain things. They've actually taken away everybody's rights. Nobody has any rights.
No, not at all.
Yeah, nobody has any rights. They think they have rights. They think they have a constitution. Don't worry about it. You don't.
It's more like freedom of what I said in one of my songs, "Watch Your Mouth" with CSG the Ghost, is I said freedom of speech, but with strings attached. Because that's the truth. Little by little, we're losing a lot of our rights. Michelangelo, may he rest in peace. We were talking about that very subject one time, about how little by little they were just dismantling everything from religion to everything. You know what I mean? And the thing is, when you have school and then you have politics, politics shouldn't be involved in the school. You know what I mean? And religion, yes, it has its place, but it shouldn't be. It's a very gray area. People are gonna be for it, and then people are gonna be against it. I was watching a news clip.
I just feel like I hate to cut in on this subject, but not to hate to cut in, but I don't mean to cut you guys off.
Go ahead.
I feel on that because I went to a Christian school my freshman year, I feel like go to the schools that match your religion, and so you can learn about it while having an education.
Right.
Yeah,
versus putting it all in one school when everybody might be 10 different religions. That's not right.
And to piggyback off that, what I think, honestly,
so you can just,
you should be able to,
should be practicality, not anything more than practicality,
Whoever
like
whoever your
arithmetic.
higher power is, whoever your God is that you might pray to, you should have that freedom to do that. Period. Like I was watching a clip, and there was a school, and there was parents like up in arms about these there were these Arabic kids that were like praying to their God, right?
Yeah.
And they had a room set aside for them where they could pray, and
Yeah.
I don't know the exact tradition, but I know they use it's like a rug, and then they pray towards the sky, basically, right? And the parents were like, how dare they get to pray to their God, and blah 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 blah. I don't pay for my kid to go to this school. And I'm thinking to myself, like, hold up, if your kid doesn't believe in God or doesn't want to pray or whatever it might be, as long as they're not interfering with you, and they're doing their own thing, leave them the hell alone.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's something that a lot of people don't know. You're allowed to pray in school. You're allowed to pray in school.
Yes, you are.
You're not allowed to go in and say, okay, well, the whole group here in the room is going to pray, but you're allowed to pray in school. Kids, if they want to break away and say, hey, at this time, which they do in the Arabic community, so it's like 3
Right.
o'clock or something like that in the daytime, and you're going to do your prayers. There's nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with that.
A woman I work with right now, she does it. Miss Judy. She's 72. She's from India, and her religion is called Sikh. Sikh.
Yeah,
Sikh.
Sikh.
And she does her prayers all the time. Like, she puts on her little veil and just be praying. And she'll take time out literally during the shift and tell us she's gonna go do her prayers.
Okay.
And she does it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I used to work with the Sikhs for a long time. I used to work in the Indian community down in Chicago.
Okay.
And I used to work for, I used to do a lot of video work for the India Tribune down there for quite some time.
So VJ, if you were to have a magic wand and you wanted to change something in the world, what would it be?
Nothing. Everybody's going to do it on their own.
Ooh, that's a great answer.
You're never going to change the world, man. People are still going to do what they want to do.
That's true.
That is so true.
That's very true.
I love that.
There's no magic one, but I'll give you something, okay? Because I do a lot of stuff now for I do a lot of trusts and stuff like that.
Okay.
I will tell you, a lot of people don't realize this, but everybody's dead. Everybody is. If there was anything I would tell people and let them know is like, when they were born, their birth certificate is actually a death certificate. So I would actually start studying birth certificate fraud, so that way you can understand what's happened to you. Your life has been stolen from you by a government administration that has put you into their corporation, into an all capitals name. They've unlawfully done that. That's why your bills are all in capital letters. That's why your license is capital letters. Your birth certificate is in capital letters.
Oh.
So basically, you're a dead entity. And part of what I do now is actually bring people back and get their lives back and be able to go and, there's certain things out there now that they're administering we the people as a corporate dead entity. These are things I've studied actually for the last 4 years. I actually got really involved with the people of January 6th, their cases, and some of the stuff that was going on that day, which is a total inside job. People have been wrongly persecuted over something they were allowed to do. The government administration has decided that they are our boss, and they will never, ever be our boss. And that's just the way it is. That's why we have what we have. And it's sadly, over over hundreds of years, we've actually lost that because of them. And it's not really so much because of them, it's because of the banksters, as we call it, on the Federal Reserve.
Yep.
They basically run the whole thing.
They do.
Yep. And so that's how it is. And anybody that's the higher ups in the government administration has basically been installed because of the Federal Reserve. And there's only certain people that know this, and there's certain steps that we've been actually doing for the last 4 or 5 years to make sure that we are able to help give the people back their sovereignty.
So I can see why you have that point of view of you wouldn't change a thing because of the fact that people are going to just do what they want to do. Look at what
Yeah,
what you're telling us is people
Yeah.
are just doing things behind our backs or even in front of our faces. But either way, we're all out here living our lives regardless because the best that we know how to
I
do.
can walk into you and tell you right now that the entire government administration is fake, fraud. Every judge, every police officer, every attorney is run by the Bar Association, which is the British Accreditation Registry. It's a fake organization. They practice legalese on the people, which is not lawful. Everybody's fake. Nobody has the proper oath of office. Not one government official or whatever the hell they want to call themselves. They rule the entire government administration through statutes, codes, regulations, rules, whatever the hell they want. Acts is always a fun word. None of those acts are even involved. Anything they put down on paper is fake fraud. Their
So-
money system is fraud.
So in other words, we're just all not in control.
No, we're not.
We just are living, honestly, each
You're not
day.
even living. You're dead.
You know,
You're
Well,
not even living.
There was
You're
a
dead.
there was a book I read.
That's the thing. You're not living. Everybody's dead because they've made you a corporate entity
Yep.
through birth certificate fraud. Look up birth certificate fraud, and you will see what is. It's like that's what's up. They've unlawfully created. They've taken your Christian name, they've flipped it, and they basically have attached your last name as a slave name. And it's like that's the way it's run. I mean, look at your tombstones. Everybody's got a capital name, but that's the way it works, and that's the way
Yeah.
it'll always be until people actually.
I guess like I said, I can see totally how you have the perspective on you wouldn't change a thing because look, there's so much going on, so much energy is going on all at the same time, so many things, you know. Honestly, the best thing that we all can do each day is just do the best that we can, I guess.
Honestly, what people can actually say is, I'm not dead. I'm a living, breathing man and woman, and you don't run me. And that's it. I mean, it's like if the government administration would just do what they're supposed to do, which they don't. One, handle the commerce that they're supposed to handle correctly, which they don't because they're trillions of dollars in debt.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true.
And
But
number two,
I do have to wrap this up though. Because I do have a couple more questions for you, but because we are doing like a Halloween theme, we've been asking about top 5 favorite Halloween movies.
Top 5 Halloween movies. That's a very good question. I'd have to say, what was that guy? Jack Skeleton guy. He's pretty cool.
Okay. Nightmare Before Christmas?
Yeah, that's always a fun one. I don't know if that counts. The Addams Family, the original Addams Family is, I guess, pretty cool. I guess that would be a Halloween movie.
Okay.
I actually had a friend of mine, they did the sound effects on that one. And then, let's see, what else do we have? Like scary movies. See, I like movies I like campy kind of movies. See, like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah,
Part
that's considered.
That's a horror movie.
Yeah, that was a good one. I like that one. I'm not too much of the gore flicks nowadays. I really don't follow them too much.
Number
let's
3.
see.
What's number 3?
Carrie was pretty cool. Carrie was pretty
The
Oh, that was
original
great,
one, right?
yeah.
The 70s with Sissy Spacek.
Yeah, Sissy
Yeah,
Spacek.
yeah.
And, what was the one? Night of the Living Dead was pretty cool.
I just watched that the other night, the
Yeah,
original.
that's pretty interesting. And then I don't know, like old school, there's a lot of old school movies I follow, like Vincent Price kind of stuff.
House of Wax. Yeah, I
nice.
watched House of Wax a couple years ago for the first time, the original, and I really liked it. I liked how it was you could tell the special effects were, because obviously they didn't have much special effects back then. It was literally, they had like mannequins and wires, and you got to see that all in the movie. Like it was just cool to see that process.
That's true. You know what? We have one more round, Mr.
Okay.
VJ. We always do. We call this the lightning round. We ask you like a random question, and you just tell us what comes to mind first.
Oh, okay.
So you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Favorite toothpaste?
Favorite toothpaste, Crest,
Favorite snack food?
Ho-Hos,
Favorite candy?
Snickers.
Favorite comedy?
Favorite comedy, Clerks.
Favorite type of music? Even though I know you said it earlier, but let's see what you say now.
Electronic is music.
Favorite electronic band?
Favorite electronic band? Oh, probably I like the Thievery Corporation.
Chicken or fish?
Chicken.
Eggs or bacon?
I'm sorry, one more time again.
Eggs or bacon?
Eggs is cool.
Favorite adult performer?
Favorite adult performer? Oh, my friend Sarah J.
Ooh, I love that.
Nice. Well, look,
Nice.
we're getting towards the end of this. We just want to say thank you so much for
You bet.
VJ coming
And
on.
drop your social medias,
yes,
my dear.
let us know what you're doing.
All right. Well, right now, I'm just, like I said, just you can check us out on the ch313.tv. Feel free to check me out on Facebook, Vj Strokenfold, Strokenfold. I'll be at the Token Lounge on October 25th, but I'm sure by the time this hits, you probably won't be able to get to it. But yeah, just keep an eye out. I'm always out there somewhere. I'm planning on, I'll probably be in Florida for the Winter Music Conference coming up in March. So
Now, an idea that popped in my head while we were doing this interview, squirrel moment, is what I missed about MTV is you had like the VJs playing the videos, right?
yeah,
Something you could do, for fun and see where it goes. Whatever you want to do, put it on your site or whatever. It doesn't have to be TikTok. It could be on like your official website, right?
Yeah.
Is play local underground videos, like just random videos, and then in between you could talk about different memories of that band or that group, or connect something to that story. You know what I mean? Like, because I miss that. I miss MTV Headbangers Ball and 120 minutes and
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? Fucking
Yeah,
Yo
like-
MTV Raps. Like, I miss when they play videos. I'm so sick of these fucking reality shows. Like, I'm done with the reality shows.
yeah. Well, that's what they dumb down people, man. That's what they want to do. So
Yeah.
Alrighty,
very
thank
true.
you so much, VJ.
Thank you so much. We're going to definitely do a part 2 with you at another time, but man, we really appreciate you being on the show, man. Thank you so much for taking the time to be on here with us.
You bet. You guys take care.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye bye.
Give it up for
VJ
VJ Strokenfold.
Strokenfold.
I almost said Strokenfold.
Say that 10 times in a row.
VJ Strokenfold. VJ Strokenfold. VJ Strokenfold.
No, honey,
VJ
I
Strokenfold,
was-
VJ
I was
Strokenfold,
like,
VJ
no.
Strokenfold, VJ Strokenfold, VJ Strokenfold. I just said it. I just did
You're
it.
so silly. You're so silly.
But man, we had a great conversation. It was just really cool to reconnect with him, and haven't got to talk to him in a while.
I tell ya, my husband and I know a lot of people.
A lot of
guys.
people. Y'all just do not fucking know.
So don't forget to drop any of your social medias into one of our
Yes.
inboxes. Kathy Bravo Cuts. I'm on Instagram.
Oh.
All one word. KATHYBRAVOCUTS.
Or go to Voorhees 187, VOORHEIS 187, TikTok Old School Funny Guy 75. Please follow and like the show. Honestly, we're not doing it for millions of viewers, but if millions of viewers like it, cool. If they don't, it's whoever likes it. Just comment, say what you like, what you don't like, what suggestions, anything that you feel we could do differently on the show, because we're learning and growing as we're doing the show. So we're on season 2. I don't even know what episode this is anymore. Like, I know.
like
Yeah.
serious. And also, too, I forgot to put my TikTok in, you guys.
Yes.
Mrs. Kathy A. It's MRS. Capital KATHY, capital A.
And look up www.bostontearoom.
.com.
Yes.
If you want a tarot
Y'all
card reading
have
from
a
me.
great rest of your day, everyone. And remember, it's a crazy fucking world we're in. Just take it one day at a time and have a great day and just live your life, man. That's all we can do.
Have a good afternoon.
See you next time for another fabulous episode of...
Talking Nude.
Wouldn't it just be great if we could all just sit in our birthday suits and not have any clothes on to be...
Talking Nude.
when you're watching a porn, you're sitting there and then you're just laying down and you're...
Talking Nude.
I mean, you could be doing that, talking to yourself. It could be just be...
Talking Nude.
You just never know. Like, sometimes Kathy be talking to herself and she could be talking.
Talking Nude.
You just never know.
You never know. Talking Nude. Have a good day, you guys.
We love you guys, man. Thank you for tuning in to us.
Bye-bye.
Have a great night. Rest of your day. Yeah. Day.